One of the messages sent to my son, and I quote, "I am more determined to rot your life than to make it a waste, a trash can, a shame, a dishonor, a hell, a real disaster, a hell on earth. And I remind you that I am heartless. I have no pity to rot a life as well as yours." This was one of almost 200 messages sent to my child over the span of 19 and a half hours. He was witty, thoughtful, kind, and loved chess. James was a high school senior. He wanted to major in pre-law, and he was months away from breaking a 40-year-old school record in the 110 hurdles. For nearly 20 hours, they attacked, threatened, terrorized, dismantled my child. Every time he tried to fight back and ask, "Why are you doing this to me? Please leave me alone," they escalated, sending his image to friends and family, telling him he would be labeled a pedophile, telling him his future was over, telling him you should just kill yourself. And in those last moments, my son, who had everything to live for, felt like he had no other choice.
For the parents' comfort, they shouldn't be having their kids on they should be monitoring what they are doing on their phones. You know, letting them know from the get-go, before even handing them a device like a cell phone or an iPad. If anybody texts you, that's an unknown number you do not know, you quickly come to me. You don't start replying to these people and thinking it's whoever they say they are. You come to your parent and you confirm it with them.
That was Tamia Woods this morning, telling the Senate Judiciary Committee about her son, James, who she says took his own life after he was blackmailed by online sextortion predators who threatened to share his intimate photos if he did not send them money. He was 17 years old. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Molly Line, and joining us today, Jerry Willis, Fox Business correspondent. Kennedy, host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast. Arthel Neville, Fox News anchor, and Brian Kilmeade, Fox and Friends co-host and host of the Brian Kilmeade Show on Fox Radio with One Nation with Brian Kilmeade. James was obsessed with comics. He could quote every episode of the Flash TV show, and he wore an anime headband during track meets because he said it made him run faster. He was the one to beat in the men's 110-meter hurdles. One November afternoon, he was targeted online by predators who at first pretended to be a teenage girl. They tricked him into sending intimate photos, then bombarded him with more than 200 messages in less than a day, telling James to send money or risk losing everything. He took his own life. Unfortunately, James' story isn't unique. The FBI warns sextortion is exploding and young boys are being targeted constantly. From October 2021 to March 2023, federal agents received over 13,000 reports of sextortion of minors, one as young as 8 years old. At least 20 of the victims took their own lives.
Jesus.
Yesterday, friends and family of another victim, 15-year-old Braden Boyne, celebrated as Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers signed a bill named after him into law. Braden loved to ski, play baseball, and sing loudly and off-key.
To me, it means hope. The hope that this is only the beginning of Braden's story, not the end. Hope that through him and the passing of this law, we will reach every parent in this state and further. I have hope that we will take back control from these criminals and our children will no longer be pawns in their sick games.
I'm grateful that Braden's parents get the comfort to know that this won't happen to other kids the way it happened to Braden.
It is utterly heart.
This is disgusting to hear. It's sad because as somebody that wants to, have a family of my own, and hearing things like this makes me not want to have children be allowed to have social media of any kind, just being really disconnected completely from the internet. I think it's a horrible idea of having the internet, and that's not the solution to getting these sick, disgusting people off the internet. That's not the answer. For the parents' comfort, they shouldn't be having their kids on social. They should be monitoring what they are doing on their phones. You know, letting them know from the get-go before even handing them a device like a cell phone or an iPad. If anybody texts you that's an unknown number you do not know, you quickly come to me. You don't start replying to these people and thinking it's whoever they say they are. You come to your parent and you confirm it with them. It's getting sick to see these kind of news clips coming out, and you know the FBI is coming out warning parents, and parents can only do so much. But I think one of the big things I would do is not have social media for my kids until they're the age of 18 and they become adults and are able to afford or have a job. If they're in high school and have a part-time job and they have the responsibility of paying for their own phone bill and learning to be responsible, which is the point, then it would be okay. But still, monitoring them until they're of age and teaching your kids out there. People, teach your kids. You know, have a sit down, have a talk, and let them know the good, the bad, the ugly with life and how there's crazy freaking people out here in this world.
Breaking. And these people are not just criminals. They are vile, evil manipulators, Brian. They have a certain talent, and they use it, and they attack the most vulnerable among us, teenagers that don't even know this is coming.
So there's a couple of things. I think you got to approach it from two places. Number one, make the penalty greater. I got it. I understand that. But usually somebody with a twisted mind like that is not saying, well, I could get 7 years in prison or 12. I also think you got to educate the kids like you did with drunk driving. From day one, this is an example proportionally for second and third grade. What could happen online? This is one way it could be lured in. And remember, the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, they would bring in the stories of kids. I've killed somebody because I drank too much. It's got to be, we have to approach social media and the dangers exactly like it's drugs and alcohol. And I think that, along with what Australia is doing and saying, banning social media until you're in your mid-teens, I think that's where we're heading as a civilized world.
Absolutely
I
right.
agree.
We actually have some tips from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children regarding sextortion victims. We want to get to this right away before we continue with the topic. The blackmailer is not to blame, not you. The blackmailer is to blame, not you. You can report all of this via accounting
Can
the
she
platform
read?
safety, so let
Jesus
people know
Christ.
this is happening. Block the suspect, the person after you. Do not delete the profile or the messages, because that can help law.
I'll read it to you guys because she can't read. Remember, the blackmailer is to blame, not you. Report the account via the platform safety feature. Block the suspect, but do not delete your profile or messages because that can be helpful in stopping the blackmailer. Visit takeitdown.ncmec.org so NCMEC can help you get your explicit images removed from the internet. Ask for help. The very first thing should be go directly to your parents. Go directly to your parents. As soon as you see something very suspicious, go directly to your parents. Let them look at it and then also do these steps.
Enforcement if they're trying to catch a blackmailer. And visit takeitdown.ncmec.org so that the organization can help you get your images or your teenager, your child's images removed from the internet. Always ask for help. Arthel, I mean, this is heartbreaking. It's the holiday season. This is a tough topic to talk about, but it's so important because, as Brian mentioned, many teenagers don't even think of this as a possibility.
Yeah, you know, and what's happening, to your point, Brian, these scumbags, because that's what they are, they're scumbags. They're targeting boys 17 to 17 years old. And as you know, as parents, that's when these boys are exercising their independence, right? And the parents want to encourage that. But the parents also, and to be clear, it's not the parents' fault, but the parents also have to, they have to pry into what they're doing on the internet, their activity, to make sure they're able to protect the parents. Again, it's not the parents' fault, but that's just another way.
I don't agree with that. I believe there's some form of responsibility from the parents. So yes, it's a little bit their fault. I wouldn't say it's entirely their fault, but when it comes to having children, it is the parents' responsibility to make sure that the life that they bring in this world, that they teach them good morals and values and to report things right away. not to wait and hold on to it thinking that they're in their own little bubble or world, and then get traumatized by it, either commit suicide or live their life having this trauma. Then they resort to drugs and doing all these crazy things as they get older. So yes, it is a little bit of the parents' responsibility into making sure that they help their children and prevent stuff like this from happening.
On the parents' shoulders in this day and age of raising children. And, listen, there cannot be enough protection for these kids who are online. They're being preyed upon by, they're innocent. They don't even realize what's happening before they're down that rabbit hole, if you will. And then you have Governor Evers, who's doing a great job signing Brady's Law, which is going to create new penalties for these evil people preying on these innocent children. And this will provide some compensation to the families, the victims' families, from the DOJ. Now, of course, everybody would trade any money, all the money in the world, to have their child back. But I hope that Governor Evers' move is an example.
I hope all parents out there really take a listen to this. I'm going to make probably a short reel or a short clip of it and share it with everybody to get the awareness out there of really paying attention to what your kids are going through on their cell phones. And I'm hoping that this country gets to the point where Australia has decided to be the first country in the world to ban social media for everybody 16 years old and younger. In my opinion, it should be, until they graduate high school, then they should be, able to have access to the internet. Or if they're, per the discretion of parents, that, as long as they're over 16 but are also doing well in school, getting good grades, not skipping school, skipping class. I mean, everything plays a part in, how to make sure your kids grow up to be, good human beings and contribute to society in this country. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.